All right, 97.8. We're good to go. It's your boy here, Eric from Our Run Club, the podcast. And today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Thought maybe we'd give you a little bit of a shoe review today. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the Clifton Edge. This shoe here is one of my favorite new shoes, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the stats of this shoe, and then get into kind of what I liked, what I didn't like, and then give you my overall recommendation of the shoe. So let's get into the stats here real quick. Gonna have to throw on my trusty glasses here so I can read what I wrote down. Clifton Edge stats: 5mm offset from the heel to the forefoot, which is kind of traditional for a Hoka shoe. Most of their shoes are right around there, so this is not any different. Women's shoe, you're going to be 26mm stack height in the heel, 21mm in the forefoot. Men's, 29mm back here, and then 24 in the forefoot. Super lightweight shoe. Women's, you're going to come in at about 7.2 ounces. I believe that's for like a size 7.5 or an 8. Men's, a little bit more at 8.9 ounces, and that's for a men's size 9. This shoe overall kind of has a firmer feel underneath the foot than most of your traditional Hokas, like your Cliftons and your Bondies. The durometer of the foam's a little bit harder, a little bit firmer. Gonna feel a little bit more responsive, a little faster. So what we'll do now, just to kind of work our way through the shoe, we'll start at the upper, kind of talk a little bit about the midsole, then get to that outsole, and I'll get into my thoughts. So the upper on this shoe is super clean. No seams really or overlays on the upper of the shoe, which helps make the shoe super lightweight, but also a little bit more durable because you don't have those two pieces coming together. So because there's no seams, there's nothing to break apart. This is a sweet yarn that's made of TPU in certain spots. That's going to be targeted, so it provides a little bit of support, a little bit of structure on the upper. What's cool about this upper too is that tongue is attached to the inside of the shoe, attached to the midsole there. So what that does is it wraps really nicely around the midfoot, nice and snug through that part of the foot. Makes the shoe feel kind of like a sock when you're putting it on. One of my favorite new things that a lot of brands are doing is this kind of peel away heel. It does a few things, makes it super easy to get that foot in, put the shoe on. Also though, peels away from the Achilles. So if you're someone who gets those little blisters on the Achilles, you're not going to have that issue here. Another cool thing about it, at least from my perspective, is I feel like it kind of pinches in on the heel a little bit more, locks the heel in so you're not sliding up and down in the back of the shoe. What I also like about this shoe is the reflectivity. So it's got a really nice piece of 3M material here that'll reflect light very effectively. So if someone's driving up behind you, they'll be able to see you. Another cool spot they put it is right on the tongue. So if someone's driving towards you, this tongue will light up really good. Helps improve the visibility when you're out there running in the morning when it's dark or at night. Kind of working our way down the shoe. This midsole here, like I said, is a 5mm offset from the heel to the forefoot. Little bit of a more aggressive meta rocker in the shoe. It's going to transition you to toe off a little bit quicker, a little bit faster than some of their other shoes. The midsole is also, like I said, a little bit firmer than most Hoka shoes, so it won't have that soft, cushy feel of, say, the Clifton 6 or 7 or that Bondi, but it'll have a little bit more of an aggressive, kind of faster feeling midsole, which I really like. I do prefer kind of a faster feeling shoe, especially on my morning runs. I've been doing between 3 and 5 miles, so it's nice to have kind of a faster feeling shoe when you're just looking to get a few miles in. What's also cool about this foam is it's super lightweight, so it makes the shoe even lighter than the Clifton, which is already a really light shoe. And one thing you'll notice about this midsole, it's kind of the eye-catching piece of this shoe, is this extended heel. So a lot of folks will look at this shoe and kind of dismiss it as kind of a gimmick, kind of over the top, like it looks a little too chunky for them. But what's cool about this extended heel is it works great for probably about 70 to 80% of runners out there who tend to strike on the outside of their heel. It's going to provide a really soft landing, but also then transition is going to be a little bit smoother from your heel to your toe because of that extended heel. For those who are kind of like me, that don't really strike on the outside of the heel, you won't even notice it. I tend to land more up on the forefoot, and I haven't had that heel get in the way at all. It doesn't feel chunky, doesn't feel like it's too big of a shoe, which is fantastic. Moving down the shoe, this particular Clifton Edge doesn't have your traditional carbon rubber on the outsole. On the Clifton here, you'll see some of those black spots. The black there is actually a carbon rubber that's made of similar material to like car tires, so it tends to add some durability to the shoe. But it also adds weight. What they've done here is they've made the midsole foam kind of transition into the outsole, and they've added a little bit of rubber to make it a little bit more durable than, say, your traditional EVA. But what it does is it makes the shoe a little bit lighter weight, and in my opinion, it's one of my main concerns about the shoe is the durability here. You can see I tend to strike on the outside of my forefoot here, and I tend to scrape a lot, so I feel like I'm kind of wearing through the outsole a little bit quicker than maybe I should be. But that's just a question of kind of how I run. It could be a me thing versus a shoe thing. I think having that trade-off, I'm willing to take it. I'm willing to take that trade-off. Maybe it's not quite as durable as it could be with some of that carbon rubber, but do I really want to add that weight onto a shoe that's supposed to be lightweight, snappy, and fast? I don't think so. So let's get into kind of my impressions of the shoe, my likes, my dislikes. So overall, I've really enjoyed the Clifton Edge. I've run probably a couple 100 miles in it. I'm not one of these shoe reviewers who likes to get a shoe right at launch, run 2 times in it, and then get my video up like super quick. I like to give the shoe a couple 100 miles, make sure I like it, do a couple of different types of runs. I've been doing some 3 to 5 mile runs that are a little bit up tempo. I've been doing some longer runs that are a little bit slower. And what's cool about this shoe is it's very versatile. So I don't feel like I need to run a short run in it because it's lightweight. I can get out there, I can crank out like a 10 miler at an easy pace and still feel comfortable in the shoe. But I do like the fact that I can get up and get moving if I really want to. It's been a really good tool to have in the toolbox. The upper fits really nice. It's a little bit roomy for me. I have a pretty narrow foot, but because I have a high instep, it takes up a lot of the room in there. So it fits me really well. I think if you're someone with a super narrow foot who has the low volume, it might be a little bit sloppier in the forefoot, but I think it's going to fit a lot of feet really well. And Hokas are known to have a little bit more room up in the forefoot there. What I've really enjoyed about the shoe in terms of the fit is that midfoot wrap. So that tongue tying into the midsole helps a tremendous amount to kind of make me feel like I'm locked into the shoe. I also really have enjoyed the reflectivity of the shoe. I feel like it helps me because I tend to run pretty early in the morning, so it might be a little darker. The reflectivity helps a tremendous amount. And I like the feel of the shoe. I'm someone who enjoys a lightweight, go fast type of shoe. And even though my one kind of question about the shoe is that durability issue where I'm kind of scraping on the outsole here, I feel like I'm still going to be able to get 350, 500 miles out of the shoe. And I can use it every day for a trainer. But if I want to get moving fast, I can do that too. So I think it's just overall a fantastic shoe. I like the way it fits. I like the way it feels. I really enjoy the way it looks. I think it's kind of fun, even though it's a little bit of a Dunkin' Donuts color and it's a little chunky. I kind of like the look. You could even wear it with jeans and you look kind of fresh. And so in conclusion, I'd say the Hoka Clifton Edge is overall a good shoe. Whew, thing's on fire.